morning. Just to let you know that the calls are recorded for training purposes. I hope that's okay with you. I'm calling from a loose, not really an organisation, just a sort of fellowship of people that we call ourselves IQ, which stands for Intelligent Questions. And what we do is we ask questions about marketing strategies of large corporations. And I don't know if you can. We're always happy to hear from anybody at any level, because as far as we're concerned, you are just as important as the CEO of any company, because we're all equal as human beings. So this call is as much to you as a human being as it is to you as an employee of Unilever. So my question for you today is that I noticed that your Magnum brand is the slogan is for pleasure seekers, and I was wondering what you think about what exactly is going on there with that slogan. Is pleasure seeking something that is a perfectly legitimate and admirable a trait in a human being?
Well, have you got? Sorry, I was going to ask you a question basically. I mean, are you concerned about the advertising at all?
Am I concerned about it?
Yeah.
I guess I'd put it slightly differently. I myself and people who are sort of into this we take notice of the advertising. We have questions about the advertising. We think it's important for people to start to becoming more and more aware of what advertisers are actually up to, and to question this.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? So again, my question is, what do you think personally, and what does the company's official line have to say about the idea of sort of attracting pleasure seekers? Because it's quite an interesting use of language, isn't it?
It is. Can I just ask you basically? I mean, if there is a kind of a lot of information you require about this, I mean, what I can suggest basically is you email your details into us, because at the moment, I mean, here we only deal with product complaints.
Oh, right.
Not the advertising part of it.
Right. Well, isn't the advertising?
Is it? Actually send all your details in, and we're quite happy to deal with the advertising part of the company will deal with their questions.
Right. Well, I'd actually rather prefer to speak to people like yourself. Or perhaps somebody in the marketing department. That's number one. Number two, I mean, I can turn this into a complaint if you want. And my complaint would be that pleasure seeking is perhaps, one could argue, certainly religious people or spiritual people might argue that, pleasure seeking for pleasure's sake is perhaps one of the roots of many of the problems with our society today. And so, for example, pleasure seeking could be in the field of food, which leads people often to eating very unhealthy food, of which I would put Magnum in that category. And it could be in the field of sexuality, which again can lead people up to all sorts of things. I mean, I don't know about you, but would you like to, if you had a partner, a lifelong partner, would you be happy if that partner would call themselves a pleasure seeker?
Well, it depends on what context you take it in. I mean, pleasure seeker basically is such a wide definition, but pleasure seeker in what sense? I mean, I wouldn't have thought if I had my partner for a long time, but now I've been married for 20 years, she a pleasure seeker. I always thought basically was that, like, she likes paragliding, that she likes bungee jumping.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't have, I'm knowing her for 20 years, I wouldn't have thought there was anything sexual about it at all.
Right.
But that's me, really.
Right. Yeah, well, I know you wouldn't have thought anything sexual about it, but, pleasure seeking, I mean, we know that that marketeers use sexuality the whole time in their products and use it in either completely up in your face or in a more subliminal sense. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Often they use women, of course.
Yes.
I guess, I don't know if this is...
I mean, I do take your point. I mean, I have seen the advert, and it is basically... I've seen the advert, and basically, there is a lot of young women involved in it.
Exactly.
I do take your point that basically there could be a connotation of sexuality in doing that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not in the again, it's a situation where I don't think in any way they intended to be the actual wording to have a sexual connotation. I think the more people were aiming for would have been more, basically, in the sense of the taste of the product, really.
The taste,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's what it was aimed at, and I think in the end, what they tend to do with any kind of marketing, they have a kind of a twist on it to make it more humorous,
right,
more attractive. But I don't think they in any way intended to make it to have either religious or a kind of sexual connotation at all to it.
Right. Well, I mean, who knows what they intended unless we could get into their boardroom meeting.
There are adverts on TV you can blatantly see that there was a very, very sexual connotation to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, on that particular one, I take your point. You know, if you look at it, I mean, if you review it in one way, you probably could, but that's up to the individual themselves.
Right. Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Buyer beware then. What about speaking to somebody in marketing? Can you put me through to somebody in marketing?
No, unfortunately, okay, that's why I was going to give you an email address. Basically, if you need to get in contact with any marketing, basically, I'll give you the webpage, the email address.
Okay.
And you can send your comments in.
Okay, lovely. Will do.
Okay, do you want the email address?
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Okay, it's Magnum.
Hold on, Magnum at,
Unilever Consumer Link.
Unilever Consumer Link.
.co.uk.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much. You've been very helpful.
You can comments down exactly how you feel about it, and basically we'll be able to contact after.
Lovely. Thank you. Okay. All the best.
All right.
Bye.
Nothing will keep you from Magnum.